This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with Tactical SEO. Since 2013, they have been providing laser-guided results for companies across Denver. I'm here with Scott. Thanks for joining us, Scott. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, really, SEO is something you took from a hobby to professional in 2013 officially. But since really 2004, you had your first bitter taste of SEO. Share with me a little bit of how this got started for you.
Yes, sir. I was stationed in Georgia at the time. I was active duty military, and there was a couple-month period there where we didn't have a whole lot of work. We were waiting for the next big event that we had to deploy for. And I don't sit very well doing nothing, so I wanted to learn how to do something new. And I thought, well, why not start a business? I've never owned a business. So I got my LLC and built a website and decided to sell kitchen cutlery online through drop shipping. And then I learned about this SEO thing, had no idea what it was. I realized, wow, yeah, I guess you have to market a website to get it in front of people. And then that's when I started playing around with it and just kind of fell in love with it as a hobby from there. I made a little bit of money off it, but for the next 10 years, it was just something kind of fun and neat that I just kind of dove into a little bit.
Excellent. I mean, we live in a day and age where everyone has a website, but regardless what products you have, service you have, if we can't get eyeballs on there, we're not going to do very well ahead of our competition. Is this a challenge that any business out there has, really?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about getting in front of the potential customers or clients. And in this day and age, everybody's searching online. One of the things I like to start with if I'm speaking in front of a group is I hold up a Yellow Pages phone book, and I ask people to raise their hand. If you've used this in the last 4 months, raise your hand. Out of a group of 50 people, there's usually about 3. And I say, keep your hands up or now raise your hands if you know what this image is. And I show a Google image. They all raise their hands. Now, keep your hands up if you've used this in the last 4 hours. Almost every hand stays up. So it just goes to show how marketing has changed over the years. And you can have the most beautiful website in the world, and it can be highly converting, but it's useless if it's not in front of the potential clients.
Wonderful. For the folks out there that don't know what search engine optimization is, or maybe they think they know what it is, why don't you share with us, define it a little bit for us?
Yeah, so search engine optimization is bringing a particular website in front of the potential customers. And there's lots of aspects to what we call SEO, and my specialty is what we call organic. And that's when you're ranked at the top of the search engines, if you know what you're doing, just below the paid ads. Because everybody sees those paid ads, usually the top 3 spots for at least competitive search terms. Well, that very next spot is the first organic result. And I have a very wonderful track record of bringing very competitive websites to that first spot. And 35% on average of all clicks to a website goes to that first spot. The next spot is about 14%. And then it drastically drops from there. So if you're not first, you're pretty much last.
That is amazing. I mean, first of all, your job really is to understand how search engines work. I mean, what the rules are, how they come together. What are some of the search engines that you focus on to make sure that people are found? Google.
That's it. The rest of them really don't matter. You're naturally going to start ranking in those other ones. The way I do things, I make sure you're optimized in Yahoo and Bing's eyes as well. But really, Google has the share of the market. And if you're not in Google, again, it really doesn't matter. Being number 1 in Yahoo, you'll get some business. Being number 1 in Google will change your company.
Absolutely. You learned early on that it was important to play within the rules of Google, really for long-term results. Is that something that has helped you later on with other companies?
Absolutely. So my very first official client was back in 2006. And he owns an avionics business, aviation maintenance and custom upgrades. And so I built his website for him because he didn't have one. And then I ranked it. And to this day, it's still number 1 across the board for all of his keyword terms, where so many people have been slapped since then. It's been almost 10 years now from one of the Google algorithm changes. Well, it's all about thinking ahead. And if I was Google, what would I do with algorithm changes? So make sure you do it right in the first time, and then you stay there forever. And then as a new panda or a hummingbird or a Google animal comes out, we like to call those, then all it means is you're solidifying yourself when I'm doing the SEO. Because the people who did things wrong are getting slapped and getting knocked out of the way. It's just more room to move up for us.
Interesting. In order to be aggressive and really have the edge over our competitors, is it possible sometimes to step out of the white hat arena a little bit if we know what we're doing?
Absolutely. So it's actually kind of a funny conversation amongst SEOs who know what they're doing. White hat is, and black hat and gray hat. It's a funny term people like to use. Nobody really has a clear, true definition other than not going with Google's standards. But there's a place for everything as long as you know what you're doing, and as long as you're doing it smart and playing the game, because that's all it is. You're playing a game. You're playing Google's game, and you're just trying to beat them at it. So that's why we call Google our frenemy, because they're our best friends because it brings in the income. At the same time, if you don't play right, then you can get slapped pretty hard.
Like a rough sister, she can turn on you.
Absolutely.
One of the unique things that you have is the fact that pretty much require a face-to-face, sit-down consultation, find out if this company's a good fit and you're a good fit for them. Tell me about that.
Yes, sir. I'm very, very adamant in that part of it. I do have a couple clients that are outside of the state, so we've had Skype conversations, phone conversations. And before I work with a client, first I do their analytics, to see, okay, where are they at? Where are they ranked? What's their website look like? What are their keywords? Now, is this a type of business that I can give them a huge ROI on? For instance, a mom and pop, bakery shop down the street. I most cases won't even work with them because the amount of time and energy it's going to take me to do to help rank them, they can't afford, and they're not going to get an ROI off that. So that's very important for me. And two is the reputation of the company. I want my name associated with quality companies, and I have fired a couple clients because I didn't like their practices of business.
You're talking about clients that understand the importance of quality marketing. They understand return on investment. They probably have some a budget out there that is pulling these clients in. That's really your best candidate.
Yes, sir, absolutely. An established business with great practices that's ready to move forward to the next step. I brought a couple companies from when I walked in the door, increased their monthly revenue by $80,000, $90,000 a month. And that's the type of clients I want. Again, mom and pop bakery shop, you're not really going to do that unless you're Sprinkles, cupcakes out of California. So that's very important to me. And again, reputation management is part of my job. So sure, there's going to be some bad reviews here and there, and I'll work on those, and that's part of the package. However, if there's bad reviews across the board on multiple platforms, and then I contact a few people who say the same thing, I'm probably not going to work with you.
That's a different expertise.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Like I said at the beginning, everyone has a website, but yet I feel many companies take this website for granted, meaning we think it's a great website. It looks good, it seems to work well, it's friendly, yet it's not optimized. Basically, it's not ready. How about those companies out there that actually need some help with actually building their website? Are you able to partner them up there?
Absolutely. That's one thing that we can do in-house, and what we do is we bring in the experts in that area and work with as a team. Because really SEO and website design, you have to have both. There's a thing called on-page optimization, and you can have a beautiful website that can be complete garbage in the SEO realm. And so I like to work with a web design company that can work with the client. So everybody's in the same loop, in the same circle, get things done the right way the first time. And I have a list of different people I outreach to, depending on the project.
The key is for your work to get noticed. Your sites are being noticed. One of the places that you were really noticed was that with a law firm. Share with me a little bit how that ties in with you.
So yeah, that was kind of interesting. When I really decided to dive into this, it was a couple years ago. I was in Afghanistan for my 7th deployment. My wife had just found out she had cancer, and then a week later we found out she was pregnant, and 12 hours later I left for the next 8 months. And so that's when I decided, okay, I really enjoyed my career with the Department of Defense and the military. However, I couldn't be home, or couldn't be gone any longer. So that's when I really dove into SEO and my education, and I thought, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make sure I can do it right. And so I tackled one of the most difficult keywords or markets you can, which is law. And so I decided to build a website and rank it here in Denver, which is a large city, for a very competitive keyword. And I was able to do that within 3 months, and I leased it out. And then from there, I have been recognized from other law firms, and they contacted me to do their work. And then now that's what you're seeing. We're sitting in a law firm, a very successful Denver law firm, and the managing partners are actually my equal partners in a new company, which is a law firm marketing company called Lucenti. So really, yeah, this one website has now exploded into a law firm marketing startup that has exponential potential in the next 5 to 10 years.
I imagine law firms, people are used to SEO guys knocking on their door. I mean, it's very competitive, but like you said, very important that they're ranking up on the top.
Yes, sir, and that's exactly why the gentleman here, Paul Fisher, who owns Fisher & Associates, contacted me. He's spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years on SEO that got him nothing. Because there's a lot of companies that really don't know what they're doing, and they'll take your money for 6 months or a year before you realize it.
Ouch.
Yeah, exactly. That hurts. So when he found somebody that could actually get the job done, that's when he contacted me, brought me in this office, and said, "Hey, man, let's talk. I want you to work on our law firm." And then after a few months, he says, "You know what? We even have a bigger opportunity here. What do you think?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk."
Excellent. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, learn a little bit more about the individual who started this company. Really, like we said, back in 2004, he really couldn't sit still, wasn't the type to not do anything, and started learning about SEO. Got his hands in it, got burnt a couple times, and basically learned the really optimal way to do things. You can also see there that on the website, you're going to learn a little history about search engines themselves. That's important to know because of the fact there's many rules out there, and some can be jumped into and taken straight on, and you can kind of bend the rules on the other places. But if anybody out there messes up, you're going to know it pretty quickly. Let me ask you this. Obviously, a face-to-face consultation is one of the areas that is important for you. What about the actual work that's being done? I mean, I know a lot of companies that are outsourcing to who knows where.
Yeah, that's one thing I pride myself in is I have my hands in everything. I have a very close friend in Michigan who owns Traverse City SEO, and we've grown up since we're children, and he does SEO as well. So we do a lot of things together because he specializes in certain expertise areas, and then I have my expertise areas. And so we actually collaborate a lot, and that's about as far as you're going to get with the outsourcing. Otherwise, it's all done by hand, which is why I'm very selective on who I work with and my clients. I'd rather have a few quality clients than a whole bunch of clients that just can't manage, because I want to be able to give them that personal touch.
I call that more insourcing. You're talking about a one-on-one right there with your team. You have a background in military. As military, we have to be very aggressive, yet at the same time very strategic. This seems to work pretty good when you're playing this Google game. Is that how you kind of approach it?
That's absolutely it, and that's exactly where the name came from, Tactical SEO. In the logo, you see a squirrel, and that's a secret squirrel. I used to work on a lot of highly classified projects, and you have to have certain tactics that you're using to engage the enemy, or even when we're doing friendly rescue missions. There's a lot of tactics involved to make sure you get the job done correctly the first time without any collateral damage.
Like you said, we never know. Sometimes Google's the friend, sometimes the enemy. You've got to be able to switch quickly. Last time, viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their contact information. Most important thing right there on the website is the fact that you can sign up right there for 100% free consultation. I mean, provide your information, your details, and you're going to know that someone is going to come along that is a perfect fit for you. He basically is pretty picky when it comes to dealing with clients out there, and so he wants to make sure he gets results. He wants to make sure that your team can handle those results as well, and also the sustainability to have this into the future, not just a one-time hit. Once again, that is Tactical SEO, providing laser-guided results to your SEO objectives. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.